and welcome back to my channel. My name's Rachel and this is Stitched Up. So today I'm joined by my lovely daughter Bronte, and this is going to be a bit of a different video from me than usual, and we are doing a mother and daughter sewing vlog, aren't we? So Bronte has decided to come up and stay with us just for a little while. She's come up from Leicester a few days ago, which is really lovely having her home, and so we decided that we would do a little bit of sewing together. And we've got two fabulous new outfits to show you, and thought we'd do a bit of a pattern review. So to start with, Bronte's wearing the Saltspring dress by Sewaholic Patterns, which is a pattern that I've had in my stash for a long time, but I've not actually made it before. Never made it for me. So this is, yeah, it was a bit of a baptism of fire, yes, I guess, to make it for somebody else. So this is the pattern here, and I will put a little picture in of it for you as well, so that you'll be able to have a look a little bit better. But this pattern is designed for woven or jersey fabrics, which is really, really cool, because it just means that it opens up a lot of variety to you. And it's a lined bodice with lovely tie straps, as you can see. We're going to put some twirls in at the end, so you'll be able to have a better look of how the finished dresses look. Well, actually mine's not a dress, but we'll come to that in a bit. And yeah, you've got two variations with the Saltspring. You can either have the short skirt on it, or you can have the midi length, maxi length, and it's got an elasticated waist. Obviously, if you decide to make it out of a woven fabric, you will need to use a zip in the back, but with this version that I made Bronte, we omitted the zip altogether because it's out of jersey. So Bronte bought this fabric when we went to Walton's back in, was it January time? Can you remember?
March?
Was it March?
March.
It might have been before the lockdown, can't quite remember. But yeah, we went to Walton's obviously before the lockdown, and Bronte chose some fabrics that she wanted to make. Well, she wanted me to make some summer outfits for, didn't you? Yes, because Bronte's sewing skills. You could actually talk, you know.
Yeah, I could have made it myself, but if it went wrong, I'd have had a hissy fit and cried.
It's a bit of a while since you've been sewing, isn't it? So yeah, it's a few years since Bronte did some sewing. So anyway, yeah, so she chose this pattern for this particular jersey fabric. It's just a cotton jersey, really pretty fabric.
I like blue.
She likes blue.
Blue compliments me.
And yeah, so we decided to have a little go. So the only alterations I made, the only alterations I made to this pattern was to omit the zip in the back. So yeah, that's it. But essentially, the outer bodice and the lining is the two different lengths, because it creates this sort of bubble effect around the bottom of the waist, which you'll see better in the pictures that we'll put up a little bit later. But we decided to go for the short version because Bronte's only 21, so she can get away with that at your age, can't you? Yeah.
Well, you can get away with it at your young age.
Maybe not. Maybe not anymore. But yeah, we went for the short skirted version. And what do you think to it?
It's really comfy. Very flattering because it hides me lumps and bumps, and it sits very nicely.
Yeah.
On the waist.
What do you feel like the fit's like?
It's nice how it's sort of fitted around my waist, so it accentuates my waist, but then it's not poofy and flowy, where it just sits. The skirt sits nice and sort of an A-line kind of shape. And
tell everybody about your little headband that you made.
So there was leftover fabric, and I really wanted a headband, and I thought it'd look really cute with a matching headband, so managed to whip up a quick little headband. You did, didn't you? So just tip your head forward, so you can see it's just like it's crossed over in the front here, so it looks really cute. Did you just use a tutorial off the internet for that? I googled how to do it, and then saw the pictures on how they'd got this. So measured my head, added an inch onto it just in case I went wrong. Okay. And then measured out a 5 centimetre width, sewed it, flipped it, sewed it together, and
fantastic.
Voila.
So it looks really cool with your dress. I like it. So yeah, the hardest issue I had with making this dress was the straps, because they're just always a bit more time consuming. So all I did for these straps was I folded them right sides together and sewed them, and then used a rouleau loop to ruler loop turner, sorry, to turn them the right way out, but it was a little bit awkward, I will admit. And I haven't finished the end of these straps. You can't see them from there, but I've literally just gone over them with the rotary cutter just to make it a really nice neat finish, because with this being jersey it won't fray. And we've left them the length that they've turned out to be, because you do have to cut 4 straps, so obviously you can tie it on the shoulders. And initially I think we felt that the straps were probably a little bit long, didn't we? But
yeah, but it's just nice the way it sits.
Yeah.
And you can make, if you want them tighter, obviously, you can make it tighter so the straps will be shorter. But I just think it adds a little bit of oomph.
Yeah, and I think just with it being tie shoulder straps as well, it means that it's easier to fit you, isn't it? It's less fitting. But obviously if you decided that you didn't like the tie shoulder straps, because I can appreciate sometimes it can be a little bit annoying, then you could just make normal straps and fit it that way. It really wouldn't be too difficult to do that. So it has a centre back seam on this dress, which I didn't omit because I didn't quite have enough fabric. Although this fabric looks like it's non-directional, it does actually have a directional print to it. And yeah, there wasn't enough so that we could cut both the front and the back on the fold along with the skirts as well. So we decided to just follow the pattern as it is in regards to cutting the back in single pieces, which it's designed for if you use a woven pattern. The instructions tell you to stay stitch the neckline of the front and back bodice pieces, but I didn't do that with me using a jersey fabric because I didn't think it was necessary. And the dress itself has an elasticated waist, which you just create a casing for, so that was fairly straightforward. So yeah, creating a casing was fairly straightforward, and we just used 1-inch elastic to make the waistband, and that was it. I hemmed the dress using my cover stitch, so it's a 3-needle cover stitch for the hem, and I think from cutting this out to actually finishing it, it probably took about 2.5 hours altogether, would you say? Something like that?
Yeah, it was really sort of quick to put together, and it's quite a simple pattern, but it doesn't look simple. Yeah. So would you, if I made it again, would you wear it? Would you like to wear it again? Yeah.
In a different...
I'd kind of like a longer version as well for sort of holidays on an evening.
Yeah, so it's a real nice summer dress. Happy with it?
Yeah.
Yeah? Anything you'd change?
I don't think so.
No?
Maybe I'd try it with more of a fitted skirt as well.
Right, okay.
Just to make it sort of a different type of bottom.
Yeah, you could just narrow the skirt pieces down a little bit, I guess, if you didn't want it. I don't think it's too flowy.
It's not flowy at all, but just if it was to be, if I had another one, I'd like one with more of a fitted skirt as well.
Okay. Right, so moving on to my outfit, what I'm wearing. I am wearing McCalls M7756, which is a jumpsuit pattern and little romper with a tie front. So this is the pattern here, and again I will put some pictures in so you can have a better look. I have made view A, which is the red version here with the long trousers, and I have used this lovely viscose that I got from a seller on eBay. I will put a link to the seller down below in the description box if you want to go check that out. This viscose was very inexpensive. I think it cost me £4 a metre, something like that, and I used about 4 metres of fabric for this jumpsuit. So this jumpsuit and romper is described as a loose fitting jumpsuit with a front that extends into a tie, elasticized waist, pockets, sleeve variations and leg length variations. And you can use, again, you can use crepes, viscose, challis, knits or cotton lawn. So again, you can use a jersey fabric for this. Now, I made a size 12 to 14 and I did make a few adjustments to this pattern like I always do with most patterns.
Because you're very broad-shouldered.
Yeah, broad-shouldered and tall. So as I say, I used a 12 bodice, which fits me absolutely fine. And now it is quite loose, but it is designed to be a loose fit. It's not designed to be totally fitted. And then I graded out to a 14 in the trousers, and they fit me really well. I also added on a good 1.25 inches to the length of the bodice, and I added on 2 inches to the length of the legs as well. And I think I added on half an inch to the crotch depth, because I'm really long torsoed, and jumpsuits I always find I just need that extra in the crotch depth really, so that it doesn't give you that wedgy feeling. That's really not nice in a jumpsuit.
No.
So yeah, so I decided to go for view A. Now originally I was going to make view B, but with the long leg length. So I was going to do these sort of fluttery sleeves, but then I just changed my mind because I didn't think I had quite enough fabric to do that. And because again, this fabric is directional, and also I just felt that it might just be too, I don't know, just too much, because obviously this is a really summery print and I would want to wear it on a day like we've got today where we've got lovely sunshine and it's warm, and I felt having a fuller sleeve it would just be too much fabric overall, and I'd probably feel a bit warm. It is quite cleavage-tastic, as you can see. I mean, this tie obviously is tying right across where the middle of my bra strap is, and I have to be careful which type of bra I wear with this, because the bra that I was wearing yesterday has quite a deeper front band, and you could see that even in front of the tie. So yeah, that is something to bear in mind if you are going to make this, that it is going to be quite low cut in the cleavage. And I think I've got this tie, and obviously because it's loose fitting as well, you know, you do feel a little bit, well, I feel a little bit more self-conscious, I will admit, I guess, but I think I've got it,
it
accentuates, is that what you're going to say?
In all the right places though, because it hooks in at the waist, and it's not fitted, but it's not tight everywhere else. Yeah. So it fits you nicely, and it's very flattering.
So it's got a little sort of keyhole detail just in the front behind the tie as well, but you don't need to worry too much that you're going to be exposing too much flesh, because it's easily covered with the tie, as you can see, and you'll probably see from the pictures. This viscose is really lovely, it's really lightweight, it was fairly easy to sew. I mean, viscose is not the easiest of fabrics to work with if you are fairly inexperienced, but I don't tend to use it so much now, but even up to last year when I've been sewing about 5 years, I would still use spray starch on viscose if I was dependent on the pattern that I was using. But if I was trying to make something like this, I would definitely use spray starch, because it just helps you work with it, makes it a little bit more easy to work with. The front bodice is totally lined. Yeah, so the front bodice is fully self-lined, and that means that obviously the tie, no matter which side it shows, is the fashion fabric, which I always hate those ties where you have to really be careful on making sure that you hem them really well, so that, and sometimes it can just look a bit messy, but at least with this it's all completely lined, so it you don't get any of the raw edges poking out, or the wrong side of the fabric showing, so that's really nice. I did want to line the back bodice as well, but again I didn't have enough fabric left to be able to do that. So the back bodice in the pattern does have a facing, and as I say, I would have preferred it if I'd have had enough to line it, but I didn't quite have enough. Now the pattern instructions do say that you can make this in 3 3/4 meters, yards, sorry, 3 3/4 yards I think. And as I say, I had 4 meters, and with all the adjustments that I made, I used up practically every scrap of the fabric, and I ended up actually having to cut the facing piece, the back facing piece, in 2. It's supposed to be cutting 1 on the fold, but I just didn't have enough left. So on this occasion, this pattern really does use the amount of fabric that you need, but again, if you're quite petite, you probably wouldn't need to, you know, you could get away with maybe a little bit less, especially if you're going to be shortening the pattern, but you know, I'm 5'10", so that's that. Anyway, it's got an elasticized waist, and very much like the Saltspring that Bronte's wearing, it's a case of making casing inside and then inserting the elastic in. I have made this quite loose on my waist, I will admit, and it's not as fitted on the waist as I probably would like, but yeah, I still, you know, it's something that I can go in and change at a later date as I lose weight. I've made the full length trousers, and I've put side seam pockets in on this version, and I'm not normally a lover of side seam pockets because I tend to find that they tend to stick out a little bit on the hips and make you look even wider on the hips, and I've already got wide hips, I don't need any extra there, thank you very much. But on this occasion I did decide to go with it and add in the side seam pockets, and actually I quite like how it's come out.
They do sit very flat.
Yeah, they do sit really flat on these. The instructions were fine, there was no areas in the instructions that confused me. I would say if you are a novice sewer, then you may find it a little bit awkward when it comes to turning out the bodice, because with the front being lined, fully lined, but just the back face being faced, it means that you have to turn it out, and then you end up having to stitch up the side seams, including the facing, in one continuous sew. And then it means that the front bodice edges at the sides, from the lining, from the facing piece, you actually have to fold under and stitch to the side seam. So that could be a little bit confusing if you are fairly inexperienced, but otherwise, apart from that, I really like it. I think the fit is really nice. It's nice and loose and flowy for summer, and I'm really pleased with it. I'll definitely make another one. I would like to make another one with the shorts. I think that would be really nice. I just think in this loose fitting style it'd be perfect for summer holiday.
I do like the C version.
Yeah, Bronte likes the version in the main picture on the front with the long sleeves, but I tend to sort of don't really get long sleeves and shorts. I think that's, I don't know, maybe it's just me.
I think it's because it's not fitted long sleeves, it's flares, so that makes it a bit more summery.
Maybe, but I think for me, I tend to think of long sleeves sort of covering up a bit more when it's a bit more cooler, and then, but would you wear that on a hot day with shorts? I don't know. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Would you wear this pattern? Is that something you would wear?
I'd probably wear version C, and I'd wear version B, because I don't like full length legs. For me personally, because I feel like they make me look bigger. Right, okay. And I'd probably have the waist a bit higher as well. I wouldn't want it sort of sat right down. I'd want it sort of at a higher waist level. I mean, they do sit on your natural waist. Yeah, this jumpsuit sits on my natural waist, and but I really like it. But I really love your dress as well. I'd love to make that for me now, considering I've had the Saltspring for years. I think it was one of the earliest patterns that I bought actually when I first started sewing, and I've never made it. So yeah, I definitely would like to make that myself, but I'd like to make a full length version, and I think I'd like to have a go at making the Saltspring into a jumpsuit as well, so you could use the top of that and maybe add it onto these trousers. Yeah, I feel like you could use the bottom of this pattern with the top of this pattern to sort of bring them both together, because I think this top with some shorts would be really nice. Yeah, so all in all, I think we've had a really successful sew, haven't we, between us? What would you give yours out of 10? I'd give this, and this isn't anything to do with my sewing, this is just the finished dress, I'd give it a 9, because I feel like there is a little bit of gapage here. That is my sewing. But that's the only thing that I can really fault it on, and that's just me nitpicking. Okay, right, so that's it from me, well, from us today. We'll insert some pictures now so you can have a look how these look in the flesh, so to speak, and I'll be back with you really soon. Take care, bye.